Hey guys, welcome to the X Ring. On today's episode, what I wanted to talk about were chokes, specifically choke selections with your shotgun. There's a lot of guys that get into 3-gun and they don't realize how important it is to have a good selection of chokes to be able to basically break down different stages. I mean, if you've got something that you've got a lot of clays and you have no steel, you want to run something as wide open as you can. So guys, I'm going to kind of go through this really quickly because I know a lot of you guys might already be informed of this, but running a Remington 870 with a non-removable choke is probably not going to get it done. What I've usually seen is those guys can't knock out or knock down the steels at distance. Yeah, you can change it up a little with your load, but they're going to limit you to how many feet per second, and plus you've got recoil to deal with and everything else. So let's talk about your basic ones. We're not going to get too crazy with it, but this is called cylinder, CYL. Cylinder is going to be your largest pattern, okay? You're just trying to get it to open up. There's almost no constriction here where it steps down. The next one I've got is improved cylinder. I use improved cylinder quite a bit. Don't worry about the length of these. These are just different manufacturers. It's actually nice to have the knurling on the outside like this on the Brileys, so that way you don't have to have the tool and you can actually just take it out with your hand. So improved cylinder, just think, anytime you say improved, you are constricting a little more. So you've got cylinder, you've got improved cylinder. It's a little tighter, and we're going to pattern this on paper so you guys can see it. Now we have light modified. That's going to be a little tighter. Guys, you can shoot your majority of 3-gun matches with that one choke right there, light modified. If you had one choke to choose, light modified is going to do it because you're not giving up a lot of accuracy. It still gives you a decent pattern, but at the same time, it's not crazy tight. So light modified, remember that one. Now the next one I have, this one is a modified. Modified is going to take it down even more. Now remember, I said I'm just going to cover your big ones because you've got some skeet, and things like that are in between these. Sometimes they have these ones called diffuser. I'm not worried about all those. I'm just talking about the basics here. This will cover the full range. So we've got modified. This is actually going to be an improved modified, which is a little tighter. And then we've got full. Full is going to be the tightest. You always want to verify your chokes with slugs to see if it changes the impacts. But what I want to do is I want to see if this plays into effect on a piece of paper. I'm going to do this, different distances for different things. There's a lot of guys that do trap and skeet that pattern at like 20 and 25 feet and 30 feet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up at like 15 yards, and I want to see how it does because 15 yards seems to be a good average engagement. And think about like if you're taking a Texas or a Texas Star down and you're trying to hit those and knock those off. You don't want to use a cylinder unless you're really, really close, because you want to concentrate those shot onto those steels to knock them off. But I'm also going to show you a trick that you've probably never seen before, maybe so, and it will not hurt your gun. Stay tuned. All right, guys, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a full choke in here. This is going to be the tightest constriction. And what we do is, and guys, they do have hash marks on the end. If you learn that hash mark pattern, a full usually has one little hash mark or a little tooth on there. So that way, once you screw it into the gun, you can tell. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a little hash mark right there. So basically, you can put it in, you can get it started. They usually give you a tool, and what we do is we just get these where they're a little snug. You don't want it loosening up on you. So there she is, she's in. Let's see what this looks like. I'm going to be using Remington Gun Club target loads. Now this is a 1-ounce load. It's number 8 shot. A lot of times I'll shoot 1 1/8, but it doesn't matter, guys. Like I said, I'm just going to keep everything the same. Remington Gun Club target loads, 15 yards, full choke. We're shooting it out of a Benelli. This is going to be the Terran Tactical. I believe this one right here is the 21-inch model or thereabouts. Your barrel length will make a little bit of a difference, so always pattern your shotgun. Let's shoot this on paper. Hey guys, apologize for the lighting, but what we've got is we've got a 7-inch target. I've got a full choke in here. Let's shoot one round at exactly 15 yards. It's right here at the brick. Here we go. Okay, so you see it patterned just a little low left. I've learned a little bit about the shotgun, but if that was a piece of steel, I am getting almost 100% of my shot or those pellets onto what I was aiming at. So that's a full choke, okay? Let's step it up to a light modified. All right, guys, when I say step it up, what I mean is open that pattern. What I'm going to do is I'm going to skip the modified and the improved modified, and we're going to go with light modified, because I was telling you guys this is the one that you can use for a majority of all of your competitions if you had just one choke. So same thing, 15 yards, same ammunition. Okay, so light modified, that's a really good dispersed pattern. I did aim about 1 inch high and 1 inch right based on what I saw from the full load, but I've got really good dispersion all over that. If that was a steel, I know it's gonna knock it over, and I'm gonna have decent results with shooting like a clay. Now, clays for shotgun only requires 1 pellet to knock a hole where you can see daylight through it or chip an edge off. So if it's a stage where you've got like 9 or 10 clays and you're wanting to go really fast, that's when you really want to open it up to something like cylinder or even better. So let's see what it looks like. All right, guys, so the next one we're going to do is IC or improved cylinder. This is going to be a little tighter than a cylinder, but it's not going to be as tight as a light modified. So if I have a lot of clays and up close steel, I'll go with the IC, or improved cylinder rather. So I use this quite a bit. Here we go, 15 yards. So a really good pattern, but not quite as dense as the light modified. All right, guys, so the next one I'm gonna check is cylinder. Now this is supposed to be the widest, biggest pattern you can get. So if you've got a lot of close steel, or if you have a lot of clays and you just wanna burn it down, then use something like cylinder. You guys are gonna see what it looks like. Here we go, 15 yards. We'll go check it, and then also, I also need to stress this. The light modified and the improved cylinder, those were Briley chokes. These are the factory Benelli chokes. You need to always pattern the different manufacturers. I'm a big fan of the Pure Gold chokes. They have a very, very even dispersion, but always check it because there can be a difference. All right, guys, you're gonna need to do this at your own discretion. There's a trick that a lot of 3-gunners will use, and if it is like a shoot-off stage or something where you just want it as open as you can, what you do is run no choke. And I know a lot of you guys are gonna say, whoa, 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 you're gonna ruin those threads on the inside. That's not the case. I can tell you I've done hundreds upon hundreds of rounds. I'm not saying you do it all the time, but when you need that thing open, I've never seen any damage to any threads. You know, this is a TTI shotgun. This is not an inexpensive shotgun, and I don't damage my equipment, but this is something that is said to make it even more open than cylinder. I want to see if we can do that. I want to see if we can prove it. I'll actually do this test twice, and I'll thread another choke right into it, and we'll see what it looks like.
No choke is no joke.
No choke. There is nothing in there. Now, the other thing is I don't do steel shot, so I don't know if that would damage it if you do anything like that, and I don't shoot slugs. This is only shooting bird shot when you're trying to go as fast as you can and get the widest pattern you can. So here we go, 15 yards, no choke. I think it's actually tighter than the cylinder. So I don't know. I want to dispel this myth right now. We're going to try it again here in just a second. Let me put up a second target. All right, guys, we're going to do it one more time for comparison. Like I said, I want to kind of dispel this myth. I don't know if it's true or not, but we're finding out for sure. I've done it a lot because everyone said that's what you want to do. That's what you got to do in a runoff. But I don't know if that's true. Let's try it one more time. 15 yards, no choke. All right, let's grab them, put them on the table. We'll check them out. All right, guys, so here's a look at the targets. This is the full choke. You guys can see the F at the top, and you can see that huge cluster. Like I said, I could have centered it, but once again, I had to adjust and aim just a little high right on that. And then we went to light modified. You can definitely see we don't have this blowout here, that big concentration. It opened it up a little bit. And then we had improved cylinder. You can see, comparing these two side by side, that it opened it up quite a bit. Now when we go over here to cylinder, you're gonna see it is pretty substantial, all right? I'm gonna hold it right underneath the improved cylinder, and you can see it. I've actually counted as best I could, and this had 124 pellets in the black, okay? Then we did no choke. No choke came up to 126. So that right there shows me that it's almost a wash. Now, I do understand you have to do a full shot pattern to understand all of this, but here's another one with no choke, and that was 116. Remember, I did 2 on no choke. So yeah, it does kind of dispel the myth. I mean, shooting it without a choke does make the pattern open a little more. Now guys, that was based off of 2 shots. I just wanted to show you that. This hasn't been cleaned, hasn't been anything. There's that light modified choke, and I'm going to screw it in perfectly with my fingers. So guys, I've never seen any adverse effects with shooting it without a choke in it, as long as you are not doing it all the time. I don't believe you're really hurting it, because I believe it's just sliding on that wadding, and plus your tool also doubles as a thread cleaner. So it's something that I've been doing based on stuff that I've been told. I have noticed a difference, but I didn't know how significant it was. And showing it on the paper here, it's not that significant, but I think it does make a difference if you're just shooting at clays for speed. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. Hopefully it was a little informative for you. Like, share, and subscribe. We'll talk to you soon. Give me a thumbs up. Hit that like button down there. Have a great one. We'll talk to you soon.